Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go.
Broadcasting from Big B Studios, your station for classic hip-hop, R&B, and much, much more. You are listening to WUSP 1550 AM, W238CA, 95.5 FM, Utica, New York, The Heat.
This is Ron Klopfanstein, and you're on the hot seat on a Media Monday.
Hey everyone, I'm Ron Klopfanstein, and you're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. We want to welcome everyone who is streaming the video of this broadcast on Facebook Live, as well as our streaming audio audience on 955theheat.com, and those of you listening to our broadcast on 95.5 FM The Heat. Tonight, we'll be hanging out with Utica Royalties Hawa Peters and photojournalist Brian Lazore, and get this, I'll take you to Revealed, the Art of Burlesque, a showcase put on by my friend Cleo Qupid from Cupid's Arrow Productions. But first, Richard Weems is the author of several short story collections. He's published fiction, essays, and poetry in numerous magazines. He is also an experienced teacher and a workshop leader and was named a distinguished teacher for writing. But he's known now as a blogger who writes a popular column about all the cool stuff that happens around here.
I want to say I absolutely love what you do here.
Thank you.
You know, like the stuff that you cover. I love the whole attitude of the radio station here.
Thank you.
You know, this is right up my alley. I love this.
I think we have a cool vibe. We certainly try. Just like you. Just like you. So you write about really cool stuff, just kind of the same stuff that we cover here on the show. So tell the listeners.
It really kind of started when I went to, I guess it's, coming up to like a year and a half ago, I went to one of Jeff's Utica DIY shows.
Oh, yeah. You know. Jeff, who was on our show a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it was at Utica Vintage. I went walking in. I've grew up a gutter punk in South Jersey. You know, I've been to a few shows. And first off, it was the kind of show I just know I love going to. You know.
Yeah.
It's like just set up in the corner of a store.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
everything's on the floor.
Yep,
You're right there.
It's so real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what really stood out to me, and this is where I just started getting like kind of excited about where I was that first I'm walking in, this is the first show. I'm still pretty new to Utica, and there's this guy with big guy with big hair, kind of like saying hi to me as I'm going in, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of a nice vibe, And I walk in, and I just walk into the store, and that's when I found like the whole band setup in the corner. And I stop, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't I supposed to pay $10 to get in here? So I turn around, and I go to the front of the store, and I'm like, shouldn't I give someone $10? And, someone's like, oh, yeah, $10. I'm like, just what a great vibe,
So laid back.
Yeah, so that immediately kind of sparked me into thinking, like this.
You
is
want to
just great
capture
stuff.
the moment.
Yeah,
right.
So I got home all excited, and I just thought, okay, I started writing something, and I was like, okay, so the heck am I going to do with this?
Right.
And I looked at things like Substack and other places, and Medium was just the one that stood out to me a little bit more. And I thought, okay, let me just kind of start this. Let me start this up here,
Right.
And I ended up going to, I think first it was all DIY shows. That's the first ones I did. But, the reason my wife and I moved here was, all the colleges around. I thought,
I know,
there
right?
be some funky things going on.
There really is. Like, people don't realize, like, it's really like an arts town.
Yeah.
The culture
definitely.
here. Arts, yeah. So what are some of the other cool things that like you've found and have written about and covered?
Well, in fact, we've concurred at a couple lately.
I know it's a coincidence. Like, we both had the same taste.
Yeah, so there was this weekend's burlesque showcase.
Yeah.
Which I just got my post about yesterday.
I read it.
And there was the Utica DIY show where you put your own camera in danger.
This is right. Yeah, I got moshed. Yeah, so that moshing is like a real thing,
Oh yeah.
So like I'm standing there there listening to the music, a little bit disoriented because I have my earplugs in, you know, and it's dark, but I'm like, you know, feeling the beat and stuff, you know. Then from behind me, I'm like, oh crap, like my phone, it like flies through the air. It's like, oh, my phone, you know. So I got moshed, but I grabbed the phone, I got my shot.
Right. But it's,
those
again,
experiences
it's a
are
good
awesome,
crowd.
though, right?
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
You know, there's a good crowd. You know, no one gets, you know, bruised around.
Exactly.
You know?
Right. And it's
so
part of it.
You know, there's been that. There's the Tramontane Cafe. You know,
What a source of inspiration, the tram. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I just found it just because, you know, like
you could do a
I
whole
like
podcast just on things that happen at the tram.
yeah,
you know?
exactly. I would keep you material for
Only
years,
murders in the
no doubt.
building, you know, like for the tram.
You know, yeah, because I mean, you know, just keep supporting that place, keep them going.
Oh yes, and
you
to
know,
support
they
them too.
They offer so
right.
much, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I just came across it just because, you know, like I have here with me today. I just, you know, when I'm in a writing mode,
Yeah,
I'll just, you know, like I revise often like by pen. You know, I'll print stuff out and I'm okay with noise. Like I can work in a noisy environment, and you know, both volume and just like, you know, what you see around you.
I'm not surprised because your writing has that style. Like your writing is so like, I don't know, it's like so immediate. It's so there. It's like so in the
Thank you.
moment. And I love that. Like the energy that you have. So I'm not surprised that you can write with stuff around you.
Okay.
I'm like that too.
Yeah, I try to write as like an avid spectator. You
Yes,
know, like,
yes. Your
like, all right,
enthusiasm really comes across, and that's so important.
what I want to do. You know?
Right.
But yeah, I came across the cafe because I thought I just want a coffee shop just to like sit down and write stuff at. Already when I walk in, like, you know, just how like there are no matching chairs.
I know, right, yes.
Tchotchkes everywhere,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
As soon as I saw like a Karl Marx finger puppet,
know,
I'm like,
right.
all right, cool spot. You know, then I start seeing some posters on the wall, and I'm like, whoa, okay. All right.
It's one of those places where like everything that you see like lights up your sensors in your brain. You know, like everything is like, oh, it makes you think or makes you feel or makes you, yeah.
And they bring in, you know, I mean, we have like, you know, thespian puppets. We've got folk singers. You
Such
know,
cool
we got
things
drag
that like,
shows,
I know,
you
exactly, yeah.
Such a great hodgepodge of things, and you know.
How do you pick what you write about? Because I try to find stuff that like isn't covered in the other media, and I try to find stuff where like I feel like my coverage can maybe tell people kind of what it's about, like things with drag, like things with burlesque. Like I try to like take some of these things that maybe some people don't think are mainstream, and I try to show people why it really is a mainstream thing. You know, it's just entertainment. What is your approach?
Yeah.
What's your drive?
I probably do a lot of trolling on Facebook.
Yeah, that's what I get a lot. I
just trying to find things, you know, and you know, when hopefully I come across something and I go, all right, that sounds interesting. You know, like I did, you know, like when I saw the what is it, Clinton Arena.
Yes, the roller derby.
Roller derby.
I know,
roller derby run. Oh, I gotta go see some roller derby.
In Clinton.
and like legit straight up roller derby. Not like pro wrestling roller derby. You know, but like competitive and you know, and just.
And it's just people like us that want to do this stuff, you know?
Exactly. And I love that. Just like I was saying about how I just love having a band set up in a corner. $10 just to like find out like, what's going on. You know, like I always think like that's where you just find things that you never thought you'd come across.
Right.
And that, you know, that's what's so exciting.
So once you found it, once you're there, you're gathering your notes. What's your process to like write your thing? Like, how do you gather notes?
Sometimes I do write notes. There are other times, like you know, Jeff can probably attest to like I'll like Facebook message him later saying, "Okay,
that's what I do too.
Who was the band
who said this?"
King ones? You know? And I did sort of find after a while that maybe I do need to write down a thing that jumps out at me. But what I tend to try to look for is like, I don't know, it's like. Like what's the overall story I can put to this? You know, so like that first post, you know, like that was just about being in a new place and just suddenly feeling incredibly invited there.
Right.
You know, that like I was welcome, and this was just, you know, like they just had this going on, and they said, "Yeah, come in."
Do you remember what you said about it? How did you get that across?
I like my fiction. I probably spend a heck of a lot more time revising.
Really? Than you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like my wife writes poetry, and I think I've pretty much put her off of prose.
Really?
Like forever, because she's seen my revising.
Because you're so
process,
exacting
you know?
in your revisions.
Yeah, like
and
she'll
so-
see me like I'll sit there with a manuscript and I'll just like tear out a page.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
she'll say, "Did you just get rid of like a whole page you're writing?" And I'm like, "Well, it stunk." You know,
That's
She's
what
like,
you do. That's what writers do.
yeah,
You know.
exactly, you know. I probably don't spend as much time with the blogs
Yeah.
because I do want to just sort of like capture that energy.
Right.
You know.
And you probably want to write close to when it happened, so you have it in your mind.
Yeah, I'm always successful at that. Like I'm
Yeah.
not, like for
I
as
think
much.
you're pretty quick. I mean, that burlesque one was up pretty quick. You know.
Yeah.
Your story was up faster than mine.
But it's also like I'm probably not the most like regimented in terms of like I don't really have like a schedule. I'm gonna like
Yeah,
I had a
yeah.
writing professor who
It's hard if you're
he
like
got up
right.
at like 4 a.m. every
Right.
day to do new writing. And
Yeah.
this is a guy who by the time he died I think had like 22
I'm one of those
novels
people
out
who
there.
like has to have like a weekly show, or else I don't get stuff done. I have to like I do the feature story. Like we went and like get the footage on one day, then on Sunday morning I do the editing, and on Sunday night I promote the show. On Monday I do the show. On Tuesday I promote last week's show. Like I
Right.
have a schedule,
Right.
you know.
Okay.
But like for you have to be like more like self-directed at. But
Yeah.
with a blog, you know.
I obviously
And
when
as
I
a
do
writer,
go
you
to
know,
something,
yeah.
I do occasionally do like the deadline because it's
Yeah,
like, okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna get this done
Right,
by then,
right.
and get that out there. But I definitely when I go to see something, I do know I don't want to wait a week
Right.
to have it out because
Right.
I'll cool off.
You want to do it while you still feel that, you know. You
Right.
still feel that glow. I think.
Yeah,
You know?
like what's
Yeah.
what's the thing that really kind of like excited me while it was there?
Yes.
and that's what I want to really kind of capture.
I always think the things that like you remember when you get back, like those are probably the highlights to like really write about. Now, that was like one of your early posts. Let's take a recent one, like the most recent one, the burlesque show, because I covered that too. And like in the next segment after break, people can hear my story. So I'm curious, like, what was your approach when you went to the burlesque show? This was a showcase of students who were studying for 8 weeks with Cleo Qupid, and they put on a show. What was your approach? Well, I mean, I did read your story, but in your own words, what was your approach?
At this point, I've done a few like burlesque and drag show
Yeah, me too.
posts,
Right,
so
right.
so of course, it's my
Hard to
first
keep her
challenge.
fresh at times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the first
That
thing.
was
I
kinda
like,
where I was
okay,
going
so
at
what,
here.
what can I bring? What can I bring to it that
Yes.
I'm just not repeating what I said before?
Right, right.
And that's actually where the first thing I thought was, well, it is a graduation.
Yeah.
So I started by kind of like I was like looking up like different acronyms for degrees.
Oh,
And I was
right.
like, how
That
can
was
I- how can
clever
I
because you were
turn
talking
this-
about yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I can say some of those on
Right.
here.
You can read them though, you know. Yep.
So that started to become my in where I thought, okay,
Yep.
so we got like a new sort of graduation kind of happening, you know. And I would say the biggest thing that then kind of struck me was, in talking about graduations, I'm like, well, we have these students,
Right.
And Cleo
Right.
and I were talking a bit after the show about I was like, so how does it feel watching your students
Exactly.
do their thing? I mean, you
Right.
teach, which like,
Exactly.
oh my God, you
Right.
still
So-
teach. And you
It
do
is
this.
such
That
a
amazes
unique
me.
thing, to like, it's such a unique experience,
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to like go to somebody and like somebody who like her and like those performers there who is smart and who's really thought a lot about what they do and really ask them like, why did you do that? Like, where did this come from? Like, what inspired this? And like, what did that? And isn't it amazing to like have that experience?
Oh yeah, and that's what I probably get the most out of doing these things is sort of just all right. I was in a band once. I was lead singer of a covers band, definitely, and also I think it's also really for me also about giving these people cred.
Oh yeah,
Like you put this together, you did this,
Yeah.
I wrote, there was one post I wrote, on the DIY scene where, And this is kind of the funny thing about finding the story sometimes. It's really like finding the story, that something just happens that I go, whoa, that all works.
Right.
Was that like between a couple of the bands, I was sitting outside and I was talking with a couple of guys who were just, like at the show, and they were kind of telling me about like the old Utica scene, which had really just kind of fallen apart. Fights would break out, venues would get trashed, and it just kind of shut down.
Yeah.
And that same night, someone in the crowd that night kind of started going a little too far.
Yep.
And Jeff shut it down.
Right.
He just like,
Right.
And I was like, okay,
The
so
vibe was
here
so
I was
under
just
control.
hearing about like how
Right.
bad things had gotten at Lost the Scene.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
here's this guy protecting his scene like right
Yeah.
in front of me. Like I want to give that credit.
Yes. One of the things that
go out
really
there and say like, no, this is good stuff, people. Like,
and it really impresses me about Jeff, the way that he looks out for those kids.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
the people in the
so-
show. The kids,
yeah.
like those kids were my, they were in my class, the very Baden kids. So it's like good for him, to look out for them and to give them a shot and to make sure they get paid and like that's really cool stuff. We're going to talk more about your column you're writing when we come back. Richard Weems' column is on Medium. We'll talk more when we return, and we'll be joined by Hawa Peters of Utica Royalties and photojournalist Brian Lazore. But first, I'll take you to Revealed, the Art of Burlesque. I'm Ron Klopfanstein. You're in the hot seat on a Media Monday. I'll have more after the break.
This is Ron Klopfanstein, and you're in the hot seat on Media Monday.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the hot seat on this Media Monday. I'm Ron Klopfanstein. Our friend Cleo Qupid just finished teaching an 8-week course in the Art of Burlesque. Her students showed off their new skills at a showcase on Friday. Photojournalist and AI content producer Jim Hale and I were there, and we have this report. I'm Ron Klopfanstein at the Portal in Utica, where Cleo Qupid of Cupid Zero Productions is presenting Revealed, the Art of Burlesque.
So we have our student showcase. I taught an 8-week class and had 6 lovely students that were a part of this journey, and we went through the history of burlesque, what it means to be a burlesque performer, the way that you move, the different routes you can take. So it really was a catalyst of everything that is
What does it mean to be a burlesque performer?
to embody what you have on the inside, so bring out that internal persona that maybe has been hiding and lurking under all of these layers that you build. To be a part of a community that really is rich in history and in the way that we bond together, and just there's so much that is layered into being a burlesque performer, but these ones tonight really got it. They really looked great.
One of the key ingredients of burlesque, one of the things that makes a burlesque performer into great art is really like the art of the tease,
Yes.
and really like the slow reveal,
Right.
and making the audience feel like they saw more than they did.
Yes,
So
correct.
how do you do that?
You have to build a tension. So, when we do glove pulls or
Glove?
stocking pulls or anything like that, we make you wait for it. We'll pull it a couple of times and then pull it off. We want to build the tension. We want you to want us, whether, off stage or not, we want you to want us. So it really takes a lot of patience and skill to build that. And all of the performers tonight really were able to hone in on that. We spent several classes just building the tension of how to build that tension and how to take something off.
I'm with Kate Delish, you're one of the performers tonight. You also helped to teach the class,
Yes,
right?
I did.
So what was the process like?
So the process, Cleo pretty much came to me and she was like, "Hey, do you want to teach a class?" And I was like, "Do you really want me to stand in front of a bunch of people and talk? Because that is the worst idea ever." But no, it was
Did you
really
rose to the occasion?
yes, it was really lovely. I got to really get hands on with a lot of the girls. I taught mostly about costuming and pasty making and a little bit of choreography.
What's important with costuming, with burlesque?
So everybody's different really, but what draws the eye for me personally is a lot of rhinestones, very bedazzled costumes, but that's not what makes burlesque. You know, it's not the make or break, but I think the real attention to detail in your overall look and how you present yourself is really what brings it for anybody. And a little bit of core.
How do you decide like how much to wear and how much to take off?
It really depends on what I'm trying to portray. Yeah. And in this act, I was just like, it's going to be all out there. You know, like
it was kind of a revealing act.
Yes,
kind of,
at the beginning, I'm not wearing much to begin with, but I'm like, I want to kind of trick the audience into being like, but what else?
Oh,
what else is there?
Where you go,
Yeah, how far are you willing to go as a performer?
Right. How far did you go, in your own words? I saw the performance, but how would you describe it?
Yeah, I feel like I went to my all-time like comfortability as well as like the skimpiest, I guess.
How does it make you feel as an artist, but more importantly, I think as a female artist?
That's tough. That's really tough. Because it's a really tough question.
Sometimes I think with women at times and artists too, especially female artists at times, your sexuality I think is used against people. They're women and minorities, and like with the art of burlesque, you're really like embracing them and
absolutely.
Embracing the power of that.
Yeah, you kind of.
Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I feel like you really take the reins when you do this. Like you have to convey to an audience. Like you have to have them in your hand almost. And I feel like that's what I try to portray every time is like I have the audience captive and all eyes are on me when most people, sometimes it makes them uncomfortable.
Right.
You know, like, but sometimes you just gotta fight through it. And it's a battle sometimes, it is, to really have all eyes on you, watching you when everything is just so hard nowadays.
So what does it feel like? How do you deal with that in that moment? How do you take that moment and make it into great art?
I try not to be in my head too much, because when you're in your head, you can't give it your all.
Yeah.
And when you can't give it your all, it's not like the audience can really tell, but
you can
tell, and you don't feel like you're giving 100% when you know you can.
And once you give it 100% on the stage, does it help you to give 100% in your life?
I think for me personally, yes. I look at this as an outlet. I don't really have a stressful job or a stressful life, but sometimes, you know, you just need something that brings you joy, that brings you fulfillment, and I think that's what that personally does for me.
I'm with Shalane Vano. She's the owner of the Portal. So what is the Portal?
Yeah, it's a multi-dimensional space actually. So I have obviously public events here, depending on the practitioner. I do my sound immersions here, so I use the gong and other instruments to create a really healing and calming environment here.
Tell me about this 8-week course.
Yeah, so Cleo reached out to me when the portal first opened, and I opened up the email and it said burlesque in the email. And I was just so excited, and we met, and I just fell in love with her and how she had, anticipated like teaching the class, and we decided on an 8-week series. So she goes over all the things. She goes over the history of burlesque, the art of the tease, character development, props, how to decide on the song, and then so we would do a lot of stuff downstairs, like in the boardroom, the actual background, and then we would come up here and practice. So she had guests come in, So Kay Delish came in and she brought in some of her props and her pasties, and we talked about the difference between, you know, some of the different types of performances and things
What are
like
the
that.
differences? What are the types of performances?
Yeah, so I mean, with burlesque, you can take off as much of your clothing as you want. You know, you
Right.
can literally just take one glove
Right.
off. It's really about the art of the tease.
It's about taking it off, not having it off.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So you kind of work up to that, and we did
Yeah.
that over the course of 8 weeks. You know, people
Yeah.
became more comfortable.
Yep.
It was a lot about embodying our,
Right.
you know, like sensuality and feeling comfortable. You know, revealed. Like that's why
Right.
we're calling it revealed, because we're revealing ourselves. We're shedding parts of ourselves, and as you can see from a lot of the performances, they were very like personal. You know,
Very
personal
emotional.
story. Yeah, there
Right.
were some emotional performances.
What emotions do you feel when you're performing?
Yeah, so I mean, this is my first like public
Right.
performance, but I love to dance, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm always like dancing, and I feel like the energy, and I wanted to just experience this and see what it was like. And I've been following Cleo, and obviously to support these other women.
Yeah.
So like being the one to kind of take the lead and say like, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and then that gives other women or men or anyone really permission to also, you know, fully express themselves creatively.
Is that important to you?
Yeah, it's very important to
Why?
me. Yeah, I think because in society today, we're just required to kind of like, you know, especially in social media, everything's
Yeah.
so curated, and you're seeing
Right,
like exactly,
right.
you know, there's different parts of yourself that maybe
Right.
want to be revealed,
Exactly, right, yeah,
That you
yeah.
maybe like pack up and you know, it's in the back of your closet, you have this cute dress, you never wear it, and
Yeah.
this gives you an opportunity to kind of dig out those pieces in your closet and come out and like show everyone what you can actually do, you know? Yeah.
Good for you. How would you describe really the nature of femininity? Because like, you know, you're beautiful, you got the dress and the hair
Right.
and makeup
Yeah.
and everything there. What does it feel like to you to embody femininity and glamour and beauty and that kind of thing?
It's a release in some ways. I have spent a lot of my life not wanting to do makeup or hair or anything
Right.
like that. I think it has a lot to do with being labeled too girly, so I think that's part of it. But when I engage in this art, I get to be who I am on the inside, so bring out that persona, bring out who maybe those sassy characteristics that I hide when I'm not on stage. So the femininity part of it, I think burlesque can embody both femininity and masculinity, so it's more an exaggeration of your internal thoughts and feelings, and you know.
I think that's a really good point. And like sometimes the term burlesque is used as a synonym for like exaggeration.
Yes.
And stuff. And that is part of the fun here.
Yes.
So like, how would you describe that element to what burlesque is?
I think it has to do a lot with taking what maybe is socially taboo, so taking your clothes off or showing certain parts of your body or showing skin, and just running against it and going, no, I'm going to do it because I want to, and having fun with it. So everyone here tonight had a lot of fun with whatever act they did. We had people who did.
And it's your body.
It's your body. You get to showcase it and say, I'm comfortable in it. You have to be a little comfortable with yourself to do something like this. But I think a lot of the performers tried to encompass different types of burlesque. So there's the classic sexy, there's the very sentimental. We had an act that was very heartfelt and talked a lot about grief and loss. So it really tries to encompass the whole human emotion, but it can be very silly at times.
Describe your act tonight.
My
For the
act,
radio listeners,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
it was a very glamorous, very
Yes.
classy, it looked like old time Hollywood to me.
yes,
the
that was
dress
my
and then
hope.
the fan, you
Old
know.
time Hollywood holiday, I guess is the right
What's
way.
your thinking? Yeah, the
I love holidays.
Yeah.
So my specialty is feather fans. So when I use those feather fans, I have several of them. I spend a lot of money on them because they are very expensive, but I used big red fans and eventually stripped down to just green lingerie and then a little bit of a Jingle Bell surprise at the end. So I won't give away the whole thing, but it was a very fun holiday time.
Cleo's next production is Happy New Year, a New Year's Eve cabaret. It'll be at the Old That Place on Bleecker Street in Utica on New Year's Eve. At the Portal in Utica, I'm Ron Klopfanstein for 95.5 FM, The Heat.
A brand new year, another chance to start.
Lazore Photography will be offering a free photography workshop on Saturday, December 20th from 3 to 4 p.m. at 730 Broadway in Utica. Brian Lazore and Hawa Peters from Utica Royalties are joining us here in the studio now. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you for having us.
So tell me about this workshop on Saturday.
You can go first.
Brian Lazore, you're one of the most famous photographers around here. You are internet famous. We see your pictures all over social media and stuff. So, I mean, if someone wants to learn how to take a picture, you are a good person to learn that from. So how can they do that on Saturday?
Well, I went to Hawa. I have donated my business
You
to
do a lot
Utica
for
Royalties.
Utica
I've been with them.
Royalties, yeah.
January 6th will be 2 years I've been with them.
Wow.
And I donate, I'm not rich, so I don't have funds to donate, but what's better
have
than
talent
donating
and-
my time
yeah.
and services?
Which is a
So
lot. Which
I
is worth a
capture
lot.
all their marketing material and stuff like that for her, and whenever she needs me, I'm there.
Yeah.
But I figured doing the workshop would be a nice addition for Utica Royalties.
Yeah.
And because I get adults and kids who are interested. And
Right,
some of
right.
the kids at Utica Royalties, they always want to take pictures too.
Oh, yeah.
So I
yeah.
proposed to her doing the workshop, and it's not an in-depth, full learning photography because you can't teach a lot in an hour.
Well, yeah.
So I'll just touch on a few basics and then have some fun engagement activities for the folks that come. And
Sounds great.
it's bring your own camera or bring your own cell phone.
You can do so much
we'll
now.
just, hopefully it'll be a good hour of fun, not
Yeah,
classroom
yeah.
type stuff, but
Yeah.
engagement.
Well, it's really great, because kids do like to take pictures, and like they can learn how to do it well. It's good to learn how to do things well, and for adults too. It's like people are such a fan of your work. It's good to like learn how you do stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Ron, for having us.
We're
back.
always so glad when you're here.
95.5, thank you for bringing us back.
Utica Phoenix Media is all about the community, and so
Yes.
like stuff like this, like these workshops, and that's what we're all about here at 95.5 FM.
Yeah. This workshop is something beautiful that we are building here together. Brian has been an amazing addition to the Utica Royalty family.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful to have him. And I'm excited about this workshop.
I am
I
too.
know for Kwanzaa, him and my daughter was like, he was teaching her how to take pictures.
Oh,
so
yeah?
she was going all around the place and
Yep.
taking pictures. So I know the kids would definitely be happy
Oh, yeah.
to learn something
Yeah.
like this. This is a really great
Yeah.
opportunity for
And
the
even
kids.
some grown-ups, showing interest.
yes,
And
right.
even Dawn,
Who
works
doesn't
there,
want to take good
she said
pictures?
she wants to come too.
Oh yeah. So you guys have so much stuff going on though. So like, I'm just gonna stand out of the way. Like, what's Utica Royalties up to? What's Lazore Photography up to? So many things.
I'll let Hawa go first. Talk about Utica Royalties.
All these papers you gave me.
I know, I would never stop.
Bullet points and schedules. And
There's so much. But a couple of events that are coming up. So the 20th, we have the photography workshop. Also, this is something I'm very excited to talk about because on the last guest, you talk about bringing culture and everything,
Yeah.
and this kind of ties into that because this is like the experience with the Adirondack.
Right.
So they're opening an exhibit at the museum 2027.
So what this says, I'll just read it for the people listening here. It says, help tell the story of the Black experience in the Adirondacks, a community collecting events. And it says, join us in Utica on February 2nd, 2026 to share your objects and experiences connected to Black life in the Adirondacks for an upcoming exhibition.
That's exactly what we're doing here.
Cool, wow.
I always take the kids to the Adirondack for the summer. They love that trip. They love the museum, the whole experience. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And then me and kind of some of the staff were talking. It was like, well, we want to know more about Utica and the surrounding areas. We want to know people and their experience to the Adirondack, their ties to the Adirondack.
Right.
And I was like, sure, let's do it. So
Yeah.
we're doing it. If it doesn't have to be perfect shape, perfect condition.
So people just bring stuff. Like
you
if
can
they have
just-
memories of Adirondacks,
Yes.
Black culture in the Adirondacks. And
Yes, whether it's art or your
Yeah.
family or any time.
like Enchanted Forest and vacation pictures and stuff.
They can bring that. They can
Neat.
bring that for the new exhibit.
Wow.
So I'm very, very excited.
I want to come and do a story on that. Keep me posted about that.
Yeah, I mean, there is a RSVP.
I see the code there.
The code,
QR
yeah, you
code,
can scan the code and stuff like that. This will also be on our next newsletter, so please
Nice.
watch out for that.
Yes.
We'll have all this information there, but I think this is going to be a great experience for Utica.
I do too. Yeah.
I'm excited for
Yeah.
this.
So, Brian, what are you up to? You're covering stories. You just interviewed the mayor of Utica.
Yeah, I interviewed the mayor.
You was at New York Mills with Mayor Tellerico.
Yeah.
Interviewed him, and you're a journalist as well as a photographer.
I just try to be a content creator, but the reason why I dabble in so much is because, yes, I'm a business.
Yes, right.
But I like giving back to the community.
Right.
And in order to do that, I'm monetized on Facebook now.
Yeah.
And then when I do public coverage, I give the photos out for free. I have a small resolution on my Facebook, and then ask for tips or donations, and then offer for them to buy it. And all that, any money I make out when I'm in the public is, doing public coverage, goes back into the coffers of me doing charity work in the community.
And you do a lot of charity work for veterans and for
I work at the Veterans Outreach Center
has,
sometimes, and I've been with Utica Royalties for 2 years.
Right.
And a lot of people get confused when I say I do charity work. I mean, I actually get out there and pound pavement and donate my services and myself
your skill,
to a youth program, to veterans cause, and then just community coverage. And I've only been monetized about 4 or 5 months on Facebook now, but 5 months ago I was at $0 income on there. And then hopefully a year from now I can grow more and do more in the community.
Right.
And I got inspiration from this because I follow another content creator who lives out by Rochester, John Kutchko Digital.
Oh, yeah?
I highly recommend him. He used to be a journalist himself too.
Yeah.
But he's all he does now is just social media. And he's got a huge following, and he donates over $200,000 a year to charities.
Wow.
Based off what he makes just alone on social media.
Yeah. Well, it's really good to see somebody do well by doing good stuff. You know? Yeah.
And it's a thin line, having my business and trying to do charity work. So.
Well, not really.
Funding wise, and I can't fund all the charity work I want to do myself. So I always tell people, follow me on Facebook, Lazore Photography, comment, engage, invite people, because that's how we make money on social media.
And I think really all of us, I think all of us in this room, we all do a lot for free, and it's good that people support us because it's really hard work to do all this stuff. How you've built the royalties to the point where you have it as a paid job, but you put your heart and soul into this.
I'm still not reimbursed yet. I'm still waiting for some reimbursement checks.
It's amazing to see how you've taken off with the Utica Royalties. You do so much for so many people, and it's all these workshops and things. And what is the schedule? You gave me 5 pages here.
I gave you a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, so our winter
after school thing.
After school program is coming back. We're gonna kick off on the 12th of January, and it's gonna be Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
It's just after school, 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. And those days we have creative writing, we have art and craft, we have dancing, drumming, tutoring, if the kids need any tutoring, if they're struggling in schools. And we also have leadership opportunity, public speaking skills. These kids, they need that, to feel confidence.
Cool.
I mean, we started as a safe space for kids, and now we're even building it to even bigger and say, okay, you're safe. Now we're going to develop you. Now let's help you
go out into the
world. Yeah. So literacy skills, computer literacy skills, and that confidence to speak in front of a large group of people. So it's just amazing.
And I've seen that amongst your kids, the confidence that they get from doing this kind of stuff,
Thank you. Yeah. And this also will be on our newsletters. Guys, if you haven't signed up for our newsletters yet, just go on our website to uticaroyalties.org and just put your emails there. You will get the newsletters every month.
How does somebody get their kid involved in this, this after-school thing?
They can email uticaroyalties@gmail.com.
Easy to remember, uticaroyalties@gmail.com.
Yes. I think it's simple, Utica Royalties at
Gmail. Plus your Facebook page. And
Facebook
and all that stuff,
website,
phone number.
My phone number 315-224-5277. Or just say hi if you see me on the street.
Or if you want to do a photography workshop.
Right.
Hawa calls, she's in charge of all that.
Brian,
Absolutely.
let me ask you, what's a story that you've just done or a work that you've just done that you're really proud of?
I'm proud of all the work I've done out
what's
in the
something
community,
particularly recently you're really excited about? People can look for it on your Facebook page. They want to
just
go
doing the
back
community
too
coverage.
far down.
I like doing anything positive out in the community. I photographed and did a news story of New York Mills, Christmas on Main Street.
Yep.
And then yesterday I did the lighting of the, I forget how to, Menzera for Hanukkah.
Oh, right.
And I interviewed the mayor and the rabbi.
Yeah.
I'm 100% unbiased on my stories. It's not about my views or my opinions. It's about telling other people's stories.
Right.
And I'm proud of all the work I do, and I'm proud of trying to make an impact.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it grows more. Like with the journalist, I call the journalist aspect of me. I call it off the record with the Lazore photography. Kind of play on words because I'm not a formal journalist.
You got it. Well, no, I mean you are. What you're doing is journalism.
And then I'm bringing back my talk show. Hopefully after the new year, I'm working out the kinks with a co-host too.
Yep.
And on the journalist stuff I do and the public stuff, I am looking for sponsors and advertisers. And any money that comes in from that is going to help with the charity work.
Yep.
And so if anybody's interested, check out my platform. And then, if you want to make a donation to Utica Royalties, go to their website as well.
I was going to say, it's great to see how you've gone from the pictures, the photography, the nature photography, which is a great art itself, but to actually getting those interviews. And it's great to see that. You talk to people and get that. How does it feel to do that kind of journalism?
It feels good, honestly. There's so many events happening in this area, and there's so many good content creators and journalists you and you do. And then you got people like Spratt out there in the community. And then, of course, you got some good journalists from WKTV, Met, Sentinel, and stuff like that. But they can't be everywhere
at once. Right.
And I don't do what I do to compete with anybody. I just do it because, one, I enjoy it.
Yep.
And two, I'm giving back in the community. And as a veteran who's been struggling with mental health, it gives me a sense of purpose.
Right, and I mean, your work is touching so many people, and it inspires a lot too. It really does.
And it's amazing the growth, because like you said, I started out just doing wildlife. I never wanted to deal. I never planned to deal with people,
interviews and stuff.
And until my first client reached out to me last year, that's when I started doing paid photo shoots, and then I worked with another client, Jay Watch from Jay Watch Productions, and I got to see the talent and the people that go to his open mic nights and talk. Big shout out to Jay Watch. But the people that go to these open mic nights, and they need a voice or a platform to be heard bigger than what they are. And the growth from my social media, I've gone from 0 followers. I'm not up to a lot now. I'm almost 2,000. But I'm averaging the past 28 days almost 150,000 views.
I know.
And then on my website alone, on my personal website for my business, I'm almost 1 million views in the past year.
Good for you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
But it's not about me. I'm trying to
but it's
the
an
charity work and
accomplishment.
give
It's
back.
amazing. Yeah. Every time I see your posts, where you interview the mayor or something, I'm like, wow, good for him. So good job. That is really great.
It means a lot coming from you.
Well, awesome. What are you working on? What's the next big thing for Utica Royalties? You got
one thing I want
to workshops.
A lot of workshop classes, but one thing I do want to. The reason why I called you a couple of weeks ago,
I actually forgot
was the trauma informed training, and it was amazing. Shout out to NDHS. They've been amazing partner with Utica Royalties. But just to really talk about trauma and how to heal it, and it was just amazing event.
It's so important to remember, especially when we interact with kids, and especially in this area here, so many people were touched by trauma, and their interactions with us as adults, as peers, each other, is influenced by things that happen to us.
And we know that as an organization that works with youth, we have to know how to how to talk to someone who have been in
traumatized.
Traumatized. I mean, I have my whole life. I came here as a refugee, but so do a lot of people. I mean, even people that do not come here as refugee or immigrants, they still experience trauma every single day.
Growing up as a minority, for me personally, I feel like it's trauma. It really is. And I think it's so important to remember to give each other some slack, to understanding.
One thing I want to touch on with Utica Royals too. Don't let the name fool you. I've talked about this with Hawa a lot. You do not have to be from Utica to partake in our workshops.
A king or a queen or a duke.
You can live in Whitesboro, New York Mills, Boonville, New Hartford. Contact Hawa. See what if you want to volunteer, donate, or get one of your kids enrolled in some of the programs. Contact them, because
we're all Utica around here.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
I mean, it's a centralized
Exactly.
area,
Yeah.
you know, so you don't have to be from Utica to partake
Yeah.
in Utica.
Yeah.
Royalties.
Well,
Right,
this is
right.
done. Check. Okay. But I was just gonna get there. We could not do it without the support of
Yes.
sponsors, people like you guys, the
done
radio
really-
stations. You know,
We're so happy at 95.5 to like promote stuff like
yes,
this. You know,
yes,
that's what we're all about.
the
you know?
community
And
foundation.
I think that's why people support us too, because
Veterans Outreach.
Up Mobility,
Yes, right.
UCD. I cannot forget about UCD. Bank of
What's
Utica, Utica Center for Development.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Veterans Outreach.
Yeah,
these
Veterans
acronyms.
Outreach, yeah.
Yeah,
So
right.
cannot forget about them. We're here today because of them. Project Rise, you know, which changed
Yes,
the game
to
for
the
us.
schools, right?
It's the, oh my God, I just learned the name today.
I'm just so excited about all the good work that you guys are doing, both with Utica Royalties, the sort of photography. The workshop is coming up on Saturday, and we've been talking to. I'm looking at the wrong script here. I did not update my script. We're talking to Brian Lazore, and we were talking to Hawa Peters from Utica Royalties. And I'm going to have this whole episode online tonight at 9 p.m. Our sound engineer is Jonathan Brooks. He's DJ Jay Easy. He's up next with the Easy Ride Home. Jim Hale records the show for YouTube and podcast. He's our AI content producer. Stefan Grabisky, Nabil Khan, and Willie Christopher are associate producers. And I'm your host, Ron Klopfanstein. I'll be back.